The moment the red Daruma doll turned its head, the boy who wasn't standing still had his head explode. The horrifying scene made a girl scream in terror, but right after that, her eyes suddenly turned bright red, as if something else had appeared inside them. When she finally removed her hand from her mouth, a large number of red beads poured out, pouring like a flood bursting through a dam. After finishing all this, the Daruma on the podium slowly turned its head back around, and only then did. The students finally breathed a sigh of relief, still completely unaware of why everything had turned into such a nightmare. Just 5 minutes ago, they had been quietly listening to the teacher's lecture. The next second, the teacher's head suddenly burst into a shower of red beads, and a red Daruma doll jumped onto the podium, declaring that it wanted to play red light, green light with them. Anyone who moved was instantly killed, their head exploding in an instant. The girl beside them, terrified out of her mind, also moved, and just like that, every student who dared to flinch met the same gruesome fate. Panic filled the classroom. Every student stood frozen in fear, on the verge of mental collapse. Whenever the Daruma turned around, the survival instinct forced everyone to remain perfectly still, not daring to even breathe too loudly. Only when the Daruma turned away again did they loosen up slightly, gasping for air as they desperately searched for a way to escape. But every attempt ended in failure. At that moment, a boy wearing glasses suddenly spoke up. He told everyone not to panic and reasoned that if this was a game, then there must be a way to win. If following his advice, they looked carefully and noticed a button behind the Daruma with a note that said, "Press this to end the game." A boy beside them was so excited that he decided to make a run for it while the Daruma was counting. He sprinted toward it with all his might, but just before he could reach the button, the Daruma turned its head and blew his head apart, then calmly turned back as if nothing had happened. Seeing this, the remaining students began to whisper that maybe staying perfectly still was their only chance. But the boy with glasses told them not to fool themselves. He had noticed a countdown timer on the Daruma's back. When they saw that there was only 1 minute left, despair filled the room. Some students decided to take the risk in the last moments, but one after another, they all met the same bloody end. Looking at the only two survivors, the Daruma coldly told them they had better act fast because their time was almost up. At that critical moment, the boy with glasses suddenly dropped to the ground. Instantly, Shun Takahata ran behind him, stepping onto his shoulders and using the last 3 seconds to leap forward and press the button on the Daruma's back. He managed to do it in the final second, and the Daruma announced that the game was over. The boy with glasses smiled and gave Shun a thumbs up. Shun returned the gesture with a smile, but before he could react, the other boy's head suddenly exploded. The sudden blast left Shun in shock. Then the Daruma calmly stated that in this game, only the one who presses the button is allowed to survive.